Hello everyone, this is Jyotsna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we will see about the different types of software testing. You can refer to my previous tutorial where I have explained what is system testing and how and where we use the system testing. Here we will see the types of system testing. Before going to the types of system testing, first we will see what is system testing here. System testing is a testing for a finally integrated product for the compliance against the user requirements. We call system testing as a end-to-end testing also because here after development of all the required modules, the development team releases a software build to be tested on the system testing environment. There are different types which are in which system testing is categorized. Three main types are usability testing, functional testing, non-functional testing. Under usability testing, there are two different types: user interface testing, manual support testing. For functional testing, it is categorized into smoke, sanity, and functionality testing. For non-functional testing, under this we have internationalization testing, recovery testing, compatibility testing, configuration testing, intersystem, and installation testing. Also localization testing, performance, load, stress, data volume, parallel, and security testing. Here we will see one by one all these types of system types with the explanation for the each type. So starting with usability testing. So usability testing, also known as accessibility testing. Here we check the ease of use for the software. Also we check how easy it is to understand the application and process execution for the user. There are two types. First one is user interface testing, where we check ease of use, which is also called as understandability. Then look and feel, which is attractiveness of the software. Also the speed of interface, which is short navigations between the application pages. Second type is manual support testing, which is also known as help document testing. Here we check the correctness and completeness of help document or user manuals. Also, manual support testing is done at the end of functional and non-functional testing. So these are the two different types of usability testing. The second type is functional testing. So in functional testing, testing team concentrate on user requirements in terms of functionality. Here they concentrate on requirement correctness and completeness. There are three different types for functional testing. First one is smoke testing. Smoke testing is also called as basic functional testing, where we check the testability of the software. It is also called a shallow and wide approach of testing because here we check only the major functionality of software and without bothering the finer details. The second type of testing is sanity testing. In sanity testing, we also called it as narrow regression testing because here we do the narrow and depth approach. We take the narrow and depth approach for the testing. One or few parts of the system are tested in depth in sanity testing. The third type is functionality testing, which is also called as requirement testing. Here we concentrate on correctness of every functionality with respect to the requirement. This functionality testing is a process of verifying whether the product meets its own design and functional specifications. Here we validate the correctness of every functionality through different coverages. Here different six coverage are given where we validate our the functionality with respect to requirement. The first one is GUI coverage, which is graphical user interface coverage or behavioral coverage. Here we check the valid changes in properties of object and windows in our application build. The second one is error handling coverage. In error handling coverage, we check the prevention of wrong operations with meaningful error messages like displaying a message before closing a file without saving it. So we handle the different types of error here. This type of testing also comes under functional testing. Third one is input domain coverage, where we validate the input values in terms of size and types like while giving alphabets to edge fields. Okay, the fourth one is manipulation coverage. Here we check the correction of output or outcomes. The fifth one is order or functionalities coverage. Here we check the existence of functionality with respect to customer requirements. And the last one is backend coverage. Here we check the impact of front-end screen operation on backend tables contained in corresponding functionality. The third one is non-functional testing. So in non-functional testing, we concentrate on characteristics of the software, so how software behaves in non-functional requirements. There are 13 different types for non-functional testing. We'll see one by one. The first one is internationalization testing. It is a testing process of designing a software application so that it can be adapted to various languages and regions without engineering changes. Here we check the compatibility of an application to all possible languages. That's why we call it as internationalization testing. The second one is recovery testing. As the name suggests, it is also known as reliability testing. Here we check the test or we do the testing of how well system recovers from crashes, hardware failures or sudden problems. Means if I'm transferring some data over the network and if our power went off in the middle of transfer, so how well the system will support or system will give its input for the that crash or that hardware failure, it comes under recovery testing. The third one is compatibility testing, which is also known as portability testing. Here we validate whether application build is running on customer expected platform or not. Here in compatibility testing, which is done for the things like operating system, compilers, browsers, and other system softwares. The fourth one is configuration testing, which is also known as hardware compatibility testing. Here we validate whether our software build is supporting different technology devices or not. For example, different types of printer, disk drivers, different network technology. If our software is supporting those technologies or not, it comes under configuration testing. The fifth one is intersystem testing. As the name suggests, it is also known as end-to-end testing. It tests the interfaces between the two or more systems. Here we determine whether parameters and data are correctly passed between the applications. For example, in shopping malls, billing systems and barcode readers are interconnected with each other. So we will check if the data between billing system and barcode are getting transferred correctly or not. The sixth one is installation testing. In installation testing, we check the installing and uninstalling of software in customer side. The seventh one is localization testing. Here, it is the process of adapting a globalized application to a particular culture or locale. So that's why it is called as localization testing. The next one is performance testing. So performance means that the speed of processing, how speed our software or system is working with. So here we check the response time of an application. The ninth type is load testing, which is also known as scalability testing. Here we test the performance of an application on loading the system with maximum user at a same time. For example, websites like Yahoo and Google, when maximum number of users are logging into Gmail or Yahoo mails at the same time. So how well application will respond to that test, it comes under load testing. Load or scale means the number of concurrent users who are operating the software. Here the execution of software build under the customer expected configuration and load to estimate the performance is called load testing. The 10th one is stress testing. The execution of software under customer expected configuration and various load levels to estimate stability or continuity is called stress testing. Here we check how the system can behave under extreme such as insufficient memory or inadequate hardware, etc. The next one is data volume testing, also known as storage or memory testing. Here we find the weakness in the system with respect to its handling of large amount of data during short period of time. The 12th one is parallel testing. So parallel testing, also known as comparative testing or competitive testing. Here we do the comparison of two different systems, means old version versus new version of the same product, or compare with the competitive software in the market to estimate competitiveness. Also, it is applicable to software products only, parallel testing. The last one is security testing, which is also known as penetration testing. There are three different points we cover under security testing. The first one is authorization, access control, and encryption or decryption. So what is authorization? Authorization means giving the access to the valid user and denying it to the invalid user. What is access control? So access control means giving the access permission to the valid users to use a specific service like features or functionalities in software. Encryption or decryption, so denying to a third party access to enter into system. So code conversion is in between client process and server process, which is called encryption or decryption. So these are the different 13 types of non-functional testing. There are also different other types of system testing which we will cover in our next YouTube video. So keep watching the videos. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe my channel, and if you have any doubt, any comments, do give the comment below the video. Thank you so much.